What wheel do you guys think looks better, LMGT4 or Volk CE28s? So now that the install is done, I want to cover a few extra things in today's video. I want to show smaller wheel fitment of the CE28s and potentially a 17-inch wheel with my big AP racing kit, and also show how bad the Akebono pad, calipers, and everything align versus proper fitment of the AP racing. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's get into it. I want to bring you over to the bench and I want to just kind of compare. So if you look at, these are my rear calipers that I had specifically machined and designed for this application versus look how big the Akebonos are from Nissan. And this is the issue that we're having with the side mount versus the top mount. Just this bracket and the way that it goes onto the GTR, it can't be put on there without doing some type of heavy modification to it. That was for the Z1. Won't even mount to the card. Caliper adapters. The other ones from Concept Z Performance, you just have to cut, I think it's like right here, just that little area out. But you still have to modify them, which I didn't like. And if you look at the sizing, this is gonna give you way more wheel fitment and fitment options. And I wanted to go ahead and weigh them too. So these are right around 6 inches, like closer to around 6.5. So you save a little bit there. 8.5 is right around 8. So you save a ½ inch either way. And that's gonna give you just a little bit extra room depending on kind of what wheel setup you go. I mean, there's so much space here depending on your spoke design. Having that extra, well, ½ inch on either side, so roughly like 1/4 inch or so, is gonna give you a little bit better fitment. Make sure you guys hang out with me to the end of the video. The last thing we're gonna do to wrap it up, I wanna test a smaller wheel on the new brakes as well as with the old brakes so you guys can see the difference in the smaller sizing and packaging. Let's weigh these. I've got the pads in on both. So the Akebonos are 108 ounces in the rear. And my AP Racing is 86 ounces, so quite a bit lighter, over 30 ounces. Now let's put the bracket on. And even with my billet 7075 high tensile strength brackets and 12.9 high tensile strength hardware, we are still lighter. We're coming in at more than 10% lighter. So definitely a good way to save weight. Let's test the fronts. I want to see what they weigh as well. So I want to do a quick size comparison on the AP Racing. So you're about 6.25 inches here, and that's going to be your big difference is the width, because that's going to give you more fitment options for different type of spoke designs on your wheels. These are just under 7, like 7.25, so they're like a ½ inch thicker, and that's just under a foot, what, like 11 2/3, which the measurement doesn't really matter too much. But if you look at the overall like bulkiness, look at all that material in there, look how big that is, look how small and refined this is. You can tell it's a racing brake and it's going to save weight, and it's definitely more compact when you look at the top. It's not going to take up as much space and as much real estate in the wheel barrel in that area, versus look how just thick and huge the Akebono is versus this. So 207 ounces, that's pretty heavy, and that's got the brake pads and the brackets and everything in. So 156 ounces. Let's just set my bracket on there just to check. And even with the bracket, like there was brackets to mount these on as well. Even with my bracket, we're still coming in at almost 40 ounces lighter. And just in comparison, that's 11 pounds, 3 ounces with everything, versus the Akebono, 12 pounds, 15 ounces. 6 pounds, 12 ounces versus 5 pounds, 6 ounces. So my brake kit overall with brackets, calipers, all the hardware, everything you need to mount it up will save you about 8 pounds front and rear, which every little bit helps. But look at the difference in size, guys. So much more compact, refined, newer, better technology. And look at these pigs, man. Nice and small, big old fat, juicy things. If anybody lives in Tucson, Arizona, and you have some 17-inch wheels that are GTR spec, and you wouldn't mind bringing them over, you guys are welcome to come by. We can test fit them and see if we can make 17s fit. but I think you're gonna have to go 18 still. So I wanna go ahead and remove the LMGT4 real quick and test fit the CE28s on video with you guys to show you that they do fit. And with the Akebonos on the other side, they don't fit, they actually touch. So excited to test out my new set of Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. I love those tires. I'm gonna put these CE28s after I get done filming. We're gonna go on my WRX because my tires on my BBS wheels are shot. I don't know about you guys, but that looks pretty damn aggressive. Look how full the wheel is with these. Just like every little bit of space is taken up. I'm gonna get some feeler gauges out and we'll get a micrometer measurement, but look at the gap from the disc to the barrel of the wheel. It looks really nice. And they do fit. And as far as fitment to the spokes, guys, you can kind of see how they fit. There's plenty of space, more than like 2 fingers. Lots of space around the spokes, so give you a lot of options. Coming to the other side with the Akebono, you can see how it's far more limited and it's a lot closer. You have basically twice the amount of space with the AP Racing. So for your wheel spoke fitment and stuff like that, it's gonna give you more options. And the Akebono is actually touching on the bottom here, so it could not be run because the Volk CE28s, they're just too small with the way that the barrel tucks in, and like tucks in twice. But it just barely clears with the CE28s, with the AP Racing. And if you look at the wheel design of the CE28, like I was saying, it's got like that double tuck in where the LMGTs just have like that single layer. So as far as like your minimum barrel distance, that's right around like 16.5 is what it looks like it'll clear. Or like your LMGT4 is like 17.75, so you have a ton of space. Yeah, so you're right around that 16.5 inch there. So if you guys have 17-inch wheels that have the, you know, the bigger barrel design, you could probably run a 17-inch LMGT4 if they made one, or other like other 17-inch wheels that have a similar barrel design that aren't like tapered in and small like that. So I think that this would fit with the 17, guys. Like I said, if you guys, anybody's close to me in Tucson, Arizona, if anybody has a set of 17-inch wheels and we can test fit them, if any other GTR boys are around me, hit me up on Instagram, let me know. I'd love to test fit something like a, there's a TE37 and like a 17-inch I think would fit. It would be fun to try those, or the, what are the other ones? Like the 8057Rs or something like that. Those would be fun to test fit. So let me know. I wish I had more testing data for you guys. As far as wheel fitment, I sold off all the other wheels I had. I had 17-inch wheels before, some Inkies, I sold those. I sold my 350Z NISMO wheels, which were 18-inch. Those wouldn't fit with the Akebonos, they were touching. Kind of like the CE28s, they're actually a little bit smaller. So I don't even think those would have fit with the AP Racing. But let's get some feeler gauges out. Holy crap, guys. I don't know what that thing is, but it is huge. I've never seen anything like that. It looks like it's got like a little stinger or something on it. And it's big, like compared to the size of my hand. It's like a good 3.5 inches. And it's right next to me on the ground when I'm working on my car. Kind of freaking me out. All right, here's a look at the CE28s with the rear calipers. And there's plenty of space. Looking at like the barrel depth, you've got like a good 1/2 inch of caliper clearance there. So no issues at all there. And tons of space here. And then coming over to the other side with these big fat pigs, look at the, I mean, the spoke is fine. I mean, there's plenty of space there, but look at the difference in the barrel. It is basically like right on there. I mean, you have probably about 1/8 of an inch on the top, maybe a 1/16 of an inch on the bottom. So I mean, it will fit, but it just goes to show how much more compact the AP Racing is, and it will fit with smaller stuff. So yeah, that's definitely a better option for wheel fitment. But the rear is not as big of a deal. The front is where you're really gonna be limited, and the AP Racing is gonna get you there. But look how aggressive the AP Racing look, man. They are so freaking nice. They feel the whole wheels out. They definitely give that car, the Ikari, aggressive look. And I like the red because it kind of pops, especially with the NISMO wheels. And this is kind of like the thickness on my feeler gauge, so just kind of going in there and like measuring, we have about that much there. And on the micrometer, that's measuring right around 5 millimeters, so plenty of space. And the Akebono, as you can see, are contacting right there. Like if I slide the wheel, it won't even move because it's stuck against the caliper. And the big thing that's just a crappy design on these made in China, bad engineered, you can see that there's actually a clearance gap on the top versus the bottom. It's touching. That's because when they engineered the bracket, they didn't spend the time to actually center it on the knuckle to make sure that it's gonna be even top and bottom. And it's not even angled in the right pitch. It's supposed to be right around that type of pitch there, angled back. And the reason why is when you're braking, you want all that weight to equally be distributed into the knuckle the way it was designed. When you put all that extra tension to the front, you're actually overloading the knuckle, which isn't good. And you can see just how it's just not centered. Like it shouldn't be, if it was actually centered, it may actually fit, but since it's contacting there and you've got a gap on the top, it's just a bad design. Look at all the crappy Harbor Freight hardware store stuff, all the hardware. It's even like the lock washes are rusty. Versus my zinc coated stuff is gonna last longer, it's stronger, it's gonna look better. And we are centered, guys, look at that. Plenty of space. You know what I'd like to get, guys? I'd like to get myself a set of the Volk RE30s, which are the ones that were on the R34 and Fast and Furious. What was that, like Fast 4? Or, yeah, Fast and Furious. I'd like to get a set of those. I think I'm gonna try to source them because the offset on these, they don't fit the car. They actually rub on the sway bar and they're tucked in too much. These are like Subaru spec. So I think the Volk CE or the Volk RE30s would be a nice extra set of wheels. So you guys let me know. So yeah, you definitely got enough clearance here. The thing that I like about using the 7075, the more durable, more expensive, stronger aluminum, is when you're putting your screws and stuff, or your bolts into this, the strength on this is around 1.5 times to 2 times greater. So when you're bolting this stuff down and you're tightening it down, you'd have a greater probability to strip out the low quality aluminum versus the high strength aluminum is gonna allow it to be torqued down. You won't have to worry about stripping this thing out and this thing falling off your car. The cool thing about it too is there's so many different options for brake rotors for this platform because the 370Z Sport brakes are the same brakes used on the Infiniti Q50 and Q60. And so you can pick either OEM Nissan rotors, or these are some like high carbon ones that I ordered in the UK when I had the R&D done. So I shipped those back, which I'll probably be selling those later. And these are kind of like what the Nissan ones look like. So it's up to you guys, can kind of choose what you want and kind of build your own kit, or you can pick, you know, your favorite brand, DBA or Brembo, and you can throw whatever other kind of rotors you want. There's 2-piece options later, which I'm gonna probably offer my own 2-piece later on, which I will share that with you guys when the time comes. So I wanted to show you truly how bad the other brackets are. And the issue is too, is look how far forward these sit. So I've got the pins through. So the pads and everything are where they're supposed to be on the caliper. But look how far recessed the pad is down from the top of the rotor. The pad is supposed to be sitting just slightly past the lip of the rotor, so you have the pad contacting the rotor the whole way. So when this pad wears, you're going to have pad wear extending past the top of the rotor, which is is not the way it's supposed to be at all. And you can see that the distance of that gap is different on the top versus the bottom, and the whole thing is just not, it's not uniform. So the thing is, guys, too, is when you look at the rear brakes with that Akebono kit with the caliper brackets, the fitment is terrible on that too. You still have the same issue where the pads are overhanging past the end of the rotor, which is not safe for, you know, good braking feel. It's not supposed to be that way. You look at the AP kit that I have, and everything lines up because of the money and the time that went into R&D, into the CAD design. It reflects when you look at the final end result with the brakes on the car, and mine actually fit the way they're supposed to. I will have this brake kit linked in the very first description box down below, so you guys check it out. I will have limited quantities available to start, so reach out to me if you guys want to order something or try to get a set. I only have like 2 to 3 pairs of full brake sets coming in at a time, so try to be patient. I will scale up the operation as I continue to grow. With my properly designed brackets, you guys are gonna have a proper contact patch on the pad. You're gonna have a more precise braking feel, especially as the pads and everything wear over time. And it's gonna be a safer kit. That other kit is just botched. Definitely wouldn't recommend it. Wish that I would have known all that, because I never would have put it on my car, but that's what gave me the inspiration to develop and build this kit. And everything was put into the CAD design. We spent 18 months developing this kit. Thank you to Eunice at SuperTech Racing. Without him, I wouldn't be able to make this happen. He actually watched one of my videos, saw me struggling with the other kit on the other side, and reached out to me and wanted to help basically me collab and co-develop a kit. So with the parameters of what I was looking for to build a cost-effective consumable kit based around 370Z rotors, we made it happen, and I couldn't be more happy. I think it's gonna be the best value for the money, because you've got other big brake kits like Endless, they're super expensive. You've got HKS, they're a super expensive kit to buy. And then every time you need a set of rotors is a couple $1,000s, where this, you can buy any type of OEM rotor design for 370Z sport rotors, and you are good to go. You can go to the track. You're not gonna break the bank when you get to replace rotors and pads. So I think it's a nice alternative. And versus like the R33, R34 Brembos, it's a far better brake kit, newer technology, way bigger, looks way more aggressive, and it's right around the same price. So I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. And it's still gonna have a better cost for rotors, even over the R33, R34 GTR rotors, because those are expensive. You pay the GTR tax on those. That's gonna wrap up today's video, guys. I hope you are as excited as I am. I'm super excited to have launched this brake kit for the GTR market. Like I said, I think it's the right price point. It's gonna give you cost-effective consumables. And I hope that this video that I did today goes into like kind of all the details for wheel fitment, for kind of just different things for you guys. I hope it shows you what you wanna see, because I try to make the video that I'd wanna see if I was looking at a brake kit for my car, and I try to shoot the video with that objective in mind. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave me some comments down below, share the channel. If you got a GTR friend looking for a good upgraded brake kit that's good design and it's gonna take them to the next level, make sure you share my website and my channel with them. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take care, bye.